Hello, everyone. So, in this week's module, we are going to be talking about the final project. And in order to talk about the final project, that means we have to just sort of talk a little bit about the learning modules that we've had all semester. Because your final project is you are going to create your own learning module together with your group. So, now that sounds scary, right? Because you see the amount of work that goes into every module that we've had so far this week or this semester, and so it seems really daunting. But really, what I'm looking for is for you to begin to synthesize what you're learning about the arts and critical issues that show up in the arts. Um, and so, in your groups, we're just let's just start with the bare minimum, right? To begin with. When you are put into your groups and you start to meet and start to talk, the very first thing that you're going to have to figure out is what topic do you want to teach us about, right? This is about you getting a chance to be the instructor. So, what would you like me and your TA and the rest of the class to know, right? What topic do you think, what critical issue do you think is really important? And it can be anything that you want, but you want to try to be as specific as possible, right? So let's just say healthcare, for instance, right? Well, there's a lot that can fit in healthcare. What is it about healthcare and the arts together as that critical issue do you want to talk to us about? Do you want us to know? Do you want to talk about drug addiction in terms of healthcare? Do you want to talk about the pandemic, right? Like how are the arts dealing with the pandemic, right? That's part of healthcare because obviously a disease is part of healthcare. Um, or are you looking at something else? Are you looking at how uh, veterans who may have been injured in Afghanistan or Iraq are using the arts to heal themselves, right? So if you want to talk about healthcare, you see I just gave you a bunch of different options, right? None of which, by the way, are free for you to use. You have to choose something else. So you can't use any of those that I just gave you. But you can use healthcare. You just have to be very specific. If you want to talk about race, if you want to talk about gender, if you want to talk about sexual orientation, any of those are great critical issues, and the arts have dealt with every single one of them. So you're not going to struggle to find something to find a topic to talk about. And if you think it's a little too obscure, run it by me and I can help you maybe focus it a little bit more or help you realize that you know what, it's not as obscure as you think. There is a play or there is a song or there is an art installation that deals with this topic. So if you're having any issues like that, reach out to your TA, reach out to me, and we will be able to help you get through that. Okay. So now once you've decided on your topic, right, the group has all decided and you guys have discussed, then it's like, okay, so now what? Like now we know what we want to talk about, but we don't know what we're going to do with this. So if you think about all of the classes that you've ever been in your life, including this one, and you're thinking about the professors, and you're thinking about the kind of information that they have provided you with, that's a good point. That's a good place for you to begin, right? So now you've got your critical issue. Let's say it's healthcare, and you've got uh, some art that you want, right? Look at the learning modules that we have, and there's usually a lecture. There's always some reading, and there are some activities, some assignments. And all of those things are free for you to use in terms of how you're going to structure your particular module. You want to make sure that all the information that you want us to have is in there, and you can include articles for us to read. about a particular art piece or a particular point of view about the particular critical issue that you're addressing. You want to, maybe you might want to make your own video, your own little lecture video like I'm doing. Or maybe the group decides that you find some kind of music that you want us to listen to, or there's a ballet that you want us to see. All of that is fine. I really want you to be as creative as possible in terms of how you're going to put your module together. It doesn't have to be as boring as mine are, right? Because for my purposes, I'm trying to get information across to you. And so you can use this opportunity to be creative. This isn't a class where we make art necessarily, but it is a class where you are free to make art. Usually the final project we do have you make art, but we're trying something a little different this semester because of COVID and because of the inaccessibility to live art now. So you can use this as an opportunity for you to make art. And it doesn't have to be, we're not worrying about, if it can be shown somewhere or, same with the hand-drawn map, right? I mean, the emphasis was not on if you were a great artist, but it was about if you were able to identify artistic venues in your neighborhood and at least indicate to me where they're located in your town. Pretty simple, right? And so the final project is concerned with making sure that you are able to identify a critical issue. You're able to identify different artistic pieces that include that particular critical issue, that you're able to explain to us why it is important to know about this and how it affects the arts, and that you do that in some sort of creative way. And so now what does that mean? Well, what does creativity mean to you? We are almost at the midway point of the semester, and so you should have a lot of different ideas. And they can change throughout the semester as you're working with your group. So don't be too concerned if at the very beginning everyone is like, I don't know what to do. Don't be too worried if you guys think you have a really good idea at the beginning and everybody's like all in, and then a week later, maybe a week and a half or so into it, the ideas start to change and evolve, and suddenly it becomes something else. That's okay. Just take your time. Make sure everybody works together. Make sure that you have in your module of materials some articles for us to read, something for us to do, an activity, something for us to see. And that can either be your own lecture where you are talking to us about the importance of whatever it is that you're sharing with us and want us to learn. It could be a performance that you're able to take from the internet. It could be something else that you create. It could be a video of the entire group making their own kind of art that is influenced by the critical issue that you have all agreed upon. I'm not telling you what it can be because really creativity is limitless. I just want to make sure that you're using that to your advantage. Okay, and take into account if you are going to get really into it, take into account what you have at your disposal. So if you're going to make a video, think about the kind of cameras that you have and the kind of technology that you have. Because if you're going to go big, okay? It's not going to do you any good if you want to make a video, but the camera that you have makes it difficult for us to see you. That's not going to help you. And so we're going to have more conversations about the final project as we move forward. This is just an introductory video for you to begin to understand what it is you're going to be doing for the next half of the semester. So you want to start out looking at your group, group discussion board. There is a little intro video that I made that shows you how to find the discussion board and how to use it. So make sure that you watch that. It's going to be very helpful. You're going to be using this discussion board to communicate with your group members for the rest of the semester. So make sure you watch that video and understand how to use it, how to find it. In terms of the module itself, you're just going to be accumulating the content that goes in there. You're not going to have to actually create a module in Blackboard the way that I have done for you. Don't worry about that. There will be a place in Blackboard for you to upload all of that information. You're only going to upload it as one group. So one person, because Blackboard can only take one submission. So you're going to have to decide who's going to be that person. And then that person will be responsible for uploading the entirety of the project into Blackboard. Okay, so again, we're going to have these rolling conversations about this as we continue on. This is not the last time we're going to talk about the final project, so do not worry. And as always, you can always email me or your TA, and one or the both of us will respond to you and help you throughout this process. So again, like, this is not the last time we're going to talk about it. It's not the last time you're going to get any information about it. I do want to encourage you to continue reading the syllabus every week because there are dangling deadlines for this final project. And the first one is coming up next Friday. So if you have not been looking at your syllabus, if you have not been keeping up with your assignments, you need to do that because I am not going to do that for you. You are in college. You are responsible for your assignments and for the grades that you get. So make sure that you are staying on top of everything by checking Blackboard every week and by checking your syllabus. And if you have any questions, I'm just an email away. All right? Have a great weekend, everyone, and we will be talking soon.